Boot it up, don't crash today. Wi-Fi's moody, that's okay. Coffee's loading, brain still lagged. Luna's laughing, Techie's tagged. We're logging in with Luna and Techie. Tech talk's funny and slightly sketchy. Glitches, giggles, updates to an event's logging in. Brought to you, system ready, slightly unstable. You're logging in, 444, boredom not found. You're logging in, best show around.
And here we go. We're ready.
Did you set the timer?
I did not set a timer, but I probably should set a timer, especially with like last time of how much we went over time. But I mean, there was a lot to discuss about last topic. Okay, so essentially it is January, which means that there is an event that's called CES, Consumer Electronics Show. Takes place in Las Vegas.
When?
Now.
Like this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do you think was the big tech highlight that everybody's talking about?
I have no idea. I would assume something having to do with AI.
Of course, AI, right? Not AI.
Okay, so
I'll
what?
give you 2 more guesses. This is fun.
Something having to do with cooking?
No.
Something distinctly opposite from AI?
Yes.
Okay, so go on.
It has to do with something that's in our kids' playroom. That they love.
Legos?
That's the answer.
Okay.
Legos, for the first time, showed up on stage, and they have announced the Smart Brick.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Doesn't that like defeat the whole purpose of Legos?
And that's exactly why we're discussing it.
No.
The Smart Brick is a system where Legos have tried in the past or whatever to come up with smart ways of utilizing technology, but there is no app involved. It is a brick that goes on a pad to charge it, which means that you don't have to take out batteries. And the way that it works is that it makes sound, it lights up, it does all kinds of actions based upon if other pieces that have a certain chip in it, whatever's the closest, creates that particular noise or sound or experience.
I think that's really sad because I feel like it's sort of a last holdout in like, teaching STEM and things like that in a way that doesn't involve screens and like all these flashy noises and everything.
Yeah.
Like talk about, along with the STEM thing, I feel like it teaches people how to think, like it makes you think outside the box, right? And the more that you take away the peaceful building process and like make it like a flashy toy, you lose that.
Well, you're also turning Legos into computers.
Right, too, but it just doesn't work.
But enthusiasts of Lego are really upset. Those that are into imaginative play, though, are saying it's a great opportunity because essentially you're talking about like one brick that's a smart brick. They're not transferring the whole thing into a smart brick or whatever. And the way that they have it set up is that in the minifigs itself are the tags. So I mean, they were playing around where they used Lego Mario and they had a camera built into Mario, so that way as you started moving around and it was integrated in an app and stuff like that. But this is supposed to remove the screen entirely. So parents are kind of upset, but at the same time they respect the fact that Lego came up with a way for kids to play without a screen.
I think, again, though, it depends on the type of kids you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, if you have kids who really aren't into Lego and would otherwise just be on a screen, then whatever. But, like, for kids who you're really trying to give them an environment that just, isn't heavy on the screens.
Yeah.
It kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, it was kind of in my mind, but I don't even know if I'm just pulling this out of my imagination, but didn't they try something like this with Barbie or something like that?
I'm sure.
I feel like you're more on top of that stuff than I am.
I'd have to look it up. I'm not on my Barbie literature, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm saying like some of these dolls and things like that.
I'm going to just do a quick lookup of Barbie smart chips and see what comes up with that.
And then you also have like, dolls and things that have cameras, and I've had all kinds of issues over the years from other people hacking them, and like.
Oh yeah, people.
I mean, I'm not that Lego's exactly doing that, but like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's supposed to, be in the Lego universe.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. It's people are debating because at the same time there is some STEM aspects or whatever where Legos have added moving parts and gears, and this is just the next level. So again, the whole idea is if you were to go in to buy a Lego Star Wars Darth Vader TIE Fighter set, that ends up costing $65. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're basically, if you get the same set with the smart piece in it, it costs $70.
Mm-hmm.
So we think about this for a moment of $70 versus $65. Everybody at the time was really upset, and they were thinking that when you add a smart play, it was going to make the price go up really high. But the fact that they're not using Wi-Fi technology, supposedly, and they're using more of near-field communication, I think it's like NFC. I'd have to look for the actual terminology of what NFC is. Yeah, near-field communication. There we go. I got that right on. But because they're using that with proximity sensors, if the Darth Vader happens to be closer to the block, then essentially the block goes red. But if Luke is closer to the block would go blue or green.
It just feels so unnecessary. I don't know. I'd rather see kids imagining that themselves.
Well, I mean, that was happening is like that kids were making the noise of going pew pew.
Yeah, but like let them, Just like it just makes me think of, schools like taking away playtime and everything. Like it just feels like one more thing that society is like, manipulating so your own brain can't do it.
Well, the big thing that they were talking about on the CES stage was the fact of if you were to put 2 smart bricks in a race, let's say, or I guess like you put a smart brick and you put the minifigs. I don't know the exact configuration of it, but the idea is that normally if you race 2 Lego figures, there's a debate that takes place of who crossed the finish line first. But with this smart brick, there's no more argument.
Right.
They've just removed.
That goes again to what we were talking about a few weeks about figure skating, and like I think the ambiguity can be helpful.
Perhaps.
No, it can. I mean, it takes away all the fun in a sense if like you just have a computer telling you this stuff.
Well, and especially because our kids are really into Lego right now. That's why I thought it was just super ironic of all things, because it's like, again, I was studying the CES stuff, hoping to hear some interesting things about innovation of where technology was going, maybe smart cars, maybe AI technology, etc. And Lego stole the show.
I think, what was I about to say? I think the thing is the way I watch them play, like they are. I know. They're very young kids and they're doing sets that are like built for 18 plus. Very easily and like following the directions and these 100-page manuals and everything like that. Like I think that if the sets were flashier, had these distractions, I don't know how much of that they would be able to do.
Well, the question is that, okay, there's always been the element of like adding lights and adding this and adding that or whatever. Would they go and utilize that extra brick as extra plate? Because I'll be honest with you, with their sets, they also have a little thing, whatever, that flashes where it's like the police siren or the...
Right.
Right, so they have that already, but that's with a button battery and it only does one function. And they're playing with it constantly.
They're playing with it, but I don't really see them building with it. I see them just walking around and making the sound. You see what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I mean, given they're really, they really play hard with Legos.
Right.
Not all kids do, but I just feel like for the types of kids who really would be growing their brains with it like this, like not just casually playing with it, but seriously like every day, it almost, takes away some of that imagination.
Of trying to figure out how to do it yourself, of like adding lighting
it feels like distracting in a sense. I don't know.
I mean, you also haven't played with it because you might find it a lot of fun.
I might find it a lot of fun, but I'm not, building with bricks for like 3+ hours a day.
No, I get it. I just wonder what people are gonna do with it, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I
think
though, like, what about the whole Lego Mario? Or like, there have been different things over the years where they've, had the bricks like animate, or you put them on some pad and like they go on a screen, right?
Right, on a screen.
Right, but how did that go?
Really well.
Yeah.
Mario had multiple iterations, and they're constantly building sets.
Mm-hmm.
This is taking it to the next level, where there's no more criticism of, oh, the only way you can play Lego Mario is you need a screen.
Right, but as successful as Lego Mario has been, if it was really so successful, then why am I not seeing it everywhere?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. How would you define as seeing everywhere?
I'm saying, like, I go into an average store, I don't see it in whatever the Lego display. Like, it's just it's not out there. I didn't see it in the Lego store. We were in the Lego store a few weeks ago.
And you didn't see it there?
Right.
So the question
you know what I'm saying? Like, I hear it kind of in the vernacular. Maybe that's just because you're always talking about stuff like that. But I don't really have this impression that it, like, took over the Lego market.
Well, I mean, it's got a 4.8 star rating.
Yeah, from the people who are using it.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. It's a different... Because it's like, even when we go into, like, one of the used brick shops, they have a whole display of Mario.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a need for that particular... I mean, most of the sets I'm looking at for Mario have 5 stars.
Right.
4.9, 5, 4.8.
As for how mainstream it is, I mean, I think of, like, there are products and things we use constantly that, we might give 5 stars, but you don't see them everywhere.
Right. I mean, one that they have that's called Mario Kart Interactive Lego Mario Standard Kart, that has 2.8 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you that, like, the ones having to do with building Mario Karts and
using your brain.
and using your brain, it has a lower rating. And I'm just reading that off the Lego site itself as of right now. I mean, that can change. But again, like, somebody has a thing or whatever. I built every Lego Super Mario set ever made. It's got 3.7 million views on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's 3.7 million views...
Yeah, obviously people are into it.
Right. I mean, that's enough views, but it's also interesting. I'm curious, and this is bringing up another thought process. With this whole brick being introduced, have they been clearing out the Mario sets so that they now have space for this new...
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I feel like I'm in such a time warp. I don't really remember when I was last seeing them a lot or not. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of people were talking about it a year ago.
Yeah.
And a lot's changed in 1 year.
Right.
Speaking of that, I don't even know if we wished everybody Happy New Year's, but there you go.
We probably didn't. I'm such a zombie right
We
now.
no, well, the last show we were total zombies.
Right, we were zombie. We were like awake, but everything was just malfunctioning.
Yeah. No.
This week, for some reason, I have been feeling a zombie all week.
Yeah.
Like right now, I should really go to bed, and night's not over yet.
I know. We got 1 more minute till water cooler anyway.
Yeah,
Any last thoughts on Lego?
I don't know.
I think that pretty much sums it up then.
Yeah, I mean, well, like, the one thing I could say as a tech-related Lego thing is that whole program you found where you can, like, build a set and computerize it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty awesome. Like, I like technology being used for that.
Yeah. That's I believe the thing is it's a Lego Studio type of thing. So
The kids have been having fun with that.
yeah, you want to look up bricklink.com and then download the studio, and that allows you to actually build with any piece that Lego's ever made.
Right. And then, like, save your...
And then save it, and then you can print out instructions.
That's where they should be focusing, in my opinion, not into this flashy business.
Well, that's why Lego bought out Bricklink and did that whole thing. All right, great. We're getting the noise. We should probably go water cooler. We'll see everybody on the other side.
All right, let's take a quick water cooler break before the next calendar alert goes off. I'm Callie Girl with the water cooler, and I have officially logged in. Let's talk about what happened in the world while we were all replying per my last email. The United States carried out a dramatic military operation that resulted in the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, ending a long-running standoff between Washington and Caracas. According to reports, the mission had been planned over several weeks and culminated late at night when U.S. Delta Force troops entered Maduro's residence in Caracas. Maduro attempted to flee to a reinforced safe room but was quickly detained. President Trump authorized the final stage of the operation from Mar-a-Lago just days before Christmas, giving the green light after weather conditions improved. Photos later released showed Maduro in U.S. custody, restrained and wearing blackout goggles. Trump announced that the United States would temporarily oversee Venezuela's governance, offering few specifics while signaling a major escalation in U.S. involvement in the region. The move marked one of the most aggressive foreign policy actions of Trump's second term and immediately raised concerns about international fallout. And that fallout wasn't theoretical. It showed up almost immediately on U.S. soil. As Nicolas Maduro appeared in federal court in New York, demonstrators gathered outside the courthouse to express sharply divided reactions to his capture and prosecution. Many Venezuelan Americans celebrated the moment, calling it justice long delayed. Protesters chanted, waved flags, and spoke about family members who fled Venezuela during Maduro's rule. Others voiced more cautious hope, saying that while Maduro's arrest mattered, the future of their country remained uncertain. Some protesters also shared concerns for civilians impacted by the military operation that led to Maduro's removal, noting that political change often comes at a human cost. Inside the courtroom, Maduro pleaded not guilty to charges relating to drug trafficking and weapons offenses. And while emotions ran high in New York, the loudest response came from across the Pacific. China condemned the U.S. capture of Nicolas Maduro, calling it a violation of international law and a destabilizing act in Latin America. Chinese officials and state media framed the operation as an example of American unilateralism, arguing it undermined the global rules-based order. Analysts suggested Beijing was using the moment to question U.S. credibility, not just in South America, but worldwide. President Xi Jinping warned against unilateral bullying without naming the U.S. directly, reinforcing China's message that major powers should respect national sovereignty. The criticism underscored growing global tension as the U.S. continues to reshape its role on the world stage. And while global powers debated tragedy struck in a place meant for celebration over New Year's Eve. Authorities in Switzerland confirmed that all individuals injured in the devastating New Year's Eve fire at a ski resort bar has been identified. The fire killed 40 people and injured over 100 others at a popular venue in Crans, Montana. Victims ranged from teenagers to adults in their late 30s, and many remained hospitalized with severe burns. Investigators said sparklers used inside the bar were likely carried too close to the ceiling, igniting flammable acoustic materials. A criminal investigation was launched into the bar's management to determine whether safety regulations were followed. The incident sent shockwaves through the community and renewed scrutiny around indoor pyrotechnics in crowded spaces. Back in the US, a different kind of crisis spread quietly and fast. Health officials reported that a new influenza strain surged across the U.S. after the holiday travel season, with flu activity reaching high or very high levels in more than 30 states. The strain subclade K of influenza, A H3N2, caused millions of infections, thousands of hospitalizations, and over 3,000 deaths. While this year's flu vaccine was not a perfect match, experts stressed it still helped prevent severe illness and complications. Doctors warned that the strain appeared better at evading prior immunity, making even previously protected individuals more vulnerable. Symptoms associated with the H3N2 strain remain consistent with other flu viruses and included fever, cough, headaches, fatigue, runny nose, muscle aches, and chills. Some cases also involved vomiting or diarrhea, especially among children. And for some people, the stress didn't stop at illness, it showed up in their paperwork. The California DMV announced it would reissue approximately 325,000 real IDs after uncovering a software error dating back to 2006. The glitch caused incorrect expiration dates for a small percentage of residents, though officials emphasized that legal status was never in question. Affected individuals were notified directly and told their IDs would be reissued at no cost with expedited processing. The DMV reassured the public that nearly all real ID holders were unaffected and that safeguards were now in place to prevent similar issues. And moving on from bureaucratic corrections to unexpected Hollywood news, actor Mickey Rourke received an offer for an independent film director after reports surfaced that he'd been behind on rent and facing eviction. The director offered Mickey a brief paid cameo in an upcoming Scarface spinoff, describing it as an attempt to help rather than a major business deal. The role would be short and filmed on a tight timeline. While the compensation was modest, the offer highlighted how public attention can sometimes lead to unexpected lifelines. Meanwhile, an institution that once supported millions is prepared to shut down for good. The Corporation of Public Broadcasting voted to dissolve after federal funding was permanently eliminated. Founded in 1967, the CPB had supported public television and radio stations nationwide, with most funding directed to local outlets. Leaders said dissolving the organization was necessary to protect public media from prolonged vulnerability. Remaining funds were set to be distributed and archival materials preserved through partnerships with universities. Leaders stressed that the shutdown disproportionately impacts smaller stations that relied on CPB support to operate. As a part of the wind down process, remaining funds will be distributed and CPB archives will be preserved through partnerships with institutions like the University of Maryland and American Archive of Public Broadcasting. CPB Chair Ruby Calvert called the loss devastating, but expressed confidence that public media would eventually find a path forward, emphasizing its importance to education, culture, and democracy. For now, though, an institution built to inform public is quietly signing off. And finally, one more story from the sports world where accountability met emotion. Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf returned from suspension following an altercation with a Detroit Lions fan. Metcalf said he took responsibility for his actions but declined to discuss details, citing conflicting accounts of what happened. He expressed surprise that his appeal was denied and said he was focused on moving forward with the team. The league upheld the suspension as Metcalf rejoined the roster. And that's what came up while we were all circling back. I'm Callie Girl with the water cooler, and my break is over, so it's time to close those tabs. I'll come back when I have more news.
All right, we're back. Are you ready to talk about the next fun topic?
I don't know. It depends what it is.
Now remember, Consumer Electronics Show, right?
Yeah.
We all thought it was going to be about AI.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the second big news happens to be about AI.
Okay.
Take a wild guess what it's about.
I don't know. It's about making videos of. I don't even know. I know I've seen things like you can make videos of yourself doing things that you're not doing, or
Here,
I don't even know.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you because I think it's just very funny, and
Yeah.
you're gonna be very excited by it.
Okay.
Dell made a very interesting statement concerning that they have discovered consumers don't care about AI in their PC.
Interesting. As in, like, the types of people who are using PCs just don't care about AI?
They don't care about AI as far as features, because they did an interview in PC Gamer ahead of CES, where they basically made it very clear that their products aren't about being AI first. Yeah.
Do you think that's a cross section of society in general, or just like, I don't know if you say like the economic or social class of people who use PCs, or interest or something? I mean,
Yeah, they did their whole thing, and like Dell's head of product, and this is being covered again by the Verge and PC Gamer and Futurism and all these different tech places, but they're literally stating that AI has confused consumers when they've done testing and marketing.
It's confuse them in terms of what?
In terms of, it does not help them understand a specific outcome.
As in, like, talking with AI to figure it out, or like, using like comparison shopping things.
They just don't want to use it.
Yeah.
So here you've got Microsoft that's pushing AI features. You've got Dell that relies on Microsoft to be able to run its computers. They're basically telling Microsoft, stop with the AI.
Yeah.
But Microsoft is heavy into AI.
That's interesting.
Right. And essentially, Windows and Microsoft is trying to convince everybody to buy Copilot Plus. And essentially, that was in 2024. And so, really, what's really fascinating about this whole thing is being on stage and they had an un-AI conference
That's funny.
at a massive computer.
What they called it an AI?
Reporters are.
Yeah.
Like CES is again supposed to be about technology and about innovation and like what's the new refrigerators, the cars, the et cetera,
I
et
feel like
cetera.
it's kind of an elephant in the room to talk about whether people actually want to use AI or not. But again, I have to wonder, in terms of PCs, like, does it have to do with, again, the types of people using PCs that maybe don't have resources for fancier computers or don't have the time to, to waste on AI, if you want to say, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I find it interesting, like, between you and me, for example, like, I'm not very into technology, the way you are in the first place. But, like, I just literally don't have time in my day to sit with ChatGPT or any of these things.
Well, I will tell you the opposite, that ChatGPT and the AI has actually given me more time.
Right, for you, but, like, number one, I feel like it makes you a lot more distant. For me trying to communicate with you. But, like, I don't know. I think it's definitely saved you time in terms of, like, you used to have me do a lot more work for you to be functional.
Right, it's doing that work.
Right, it's doing that work, but I feel like you also get really distracted by it a lot. Like, you're a lot more checked out than you used to be.
Interesting.
So, like, you're just, like, always, somewhere out there on your phone, and I'm, like, running the household. Like, I get a lot of that. So.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. Like, again, going back to, like, the PC versus, like, Apple or whatever thing, like, I don't know. I feel like if you're going to be getting Apple devices, you probably have the resources or spare time, or I don't even know, to engage with AI.
Well, everybody's trying to figure out where AI fits, but what's fascinating is that typically everybody, when it comes to any new technology, I mean, even look at Duolingo, they're all saying, hey, we've got AI, and then their stock price surges.
Right, but again, who's controlling stock price, right? People with money.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. For Dell to walk up on their stage and basically to go and essentially state that they're having this unmet promise of AI and the expectation of AI driving end user demand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this false expectation.
I'd be interested to hear what other companies have to say about that too.
Well, they were caught off guard.
The other companies were.
They did not know that Dell was going to go and make this statement.
Right.
It's the
I'm wondering if that's like from them, knowing that their systems are like that too, but secretly not wanting to say anything.
Oh, I agree.
Or they're just so in it that they didn't even stop to look around and notice that that's how people are feeling.
They don't care. They're just looking at the money.
Yeah.
But Dell is being the equivalent of the first person that's dancing in a floor with nobody dancing.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, here comes the second dancer, third dancer, and before you know it, everybody's dancing.
Right, but in terms of the money, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
It's been a long day.
No, but the thing is Dell's mentioning that they were focused on AI.
Yeah.
And being in line with Microsoft. But they came to the realization that they think AI confuses more than it helps in understanding how it works.
Do you think any of that is the age group of people using Dell? Do you think that's more boomer age or?
I mean, Dell was college when I was around, so
yeah,
maybe
but your college, I would totally discount your college experience because the world has just changed so much since then.
Yeah, fine.
I discount my college experience, and I'm a little bit younger than you, so.
So college
Just
probably
saying.
isn't using Dell anymore.
I don't know what they're using. I'm just saying, where technology was and what people were thinking at that point is just so different from now.
Yeah, I'm just looking up my college laptop program and seeing if it
that's what
even
they were
mentions.
all using back then.
Well, I'm just seeing what exactly they're requiring. Because it's just, I mean, that'll give me a good solid idea. Here we go. Laptop and technology requirements. Yeah, it's funny. It says you're required to own a laptop. I'll just wait for that to load while I'm looking at the rest of this Dell article.
It probably also depends what field you're in, right?
Yeah, it usually never mattered before, but I guess that makes
but I
sense.
thought if you're in, it wouldn't matter, but I would think if you're in a creative industry, they would be expecting you to have more like an Apple.
No, they didn't. I got an Apple anyway.
Yeah, when you were that age.
Yeah, when I was that
I wonder
age.
about now.
No, I'm definitely curious about that because I know they also supplied things on campus, but it's funny. It's not even functional, which is just even more funnier.
Because I think of when I was a teenager, and I took one or two technology related classes at RISD, and they, I don't know, I assume they didn't have any computer requirements for students to actually have computers, but whatever they were using in their labs were Apple devices.
Well, I know the communication department always had Apple devices.
Right.
The computer science department always had PCs.
Right.
That was just a general
But
given.
I remember when I went to college at a state school and, everything there was PCs.
Yeah, I went to a commuter college, so I don't know. Oh, that's fascinating. They actually address that people are Mac users on the site. They used to never do that. They used to be PC only.
Mm.
And what's also I'm noticing is that there's no mention of being forced to have to go buy a Dell.
Mm.
Yeah. just the big requirement they say is that you must have access to Microsoft Office.
I just wonder what, I don't even know what people are doing these days for computers. I mean, I know in college I didn't have a computer. I was using a computer lab, so obviously there was no requirement.
Yeah.
Like, it would have made my life a lot easier to have a computer, but, I just didn't, and there wasn't any kind of requirement to.
So kind of going back on topic is that if Dell is basically going and saying, hey, everybody, this is what's that whole thing with the king not wearing clothes, but
Emperor's New Clothes?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's essentially what's happening right now with Dell.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically saying, wait a second, the guy's got no clothes on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will
They're
other
acknowledging the elephant in the room.
they're acknowledging that. Well, it's funny because there are certain individuals that like AI,
Mm-hmm.
but the majority of people apparently are not good with AI.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think there's a learning curve to AI, and that's part of it. But again, I would think depending on the task you're trying to do, it could either make it more efficient or less efficient. I mean, I think of like trying to use AI to some degree in Canva, and not that I'm very experienced with AI, but like, some months ago I was like, okay, let's just play with this. I was trying to make like product mock-ups.
Right.
And I was like, let's see what Canva AI will do. And it, like, from an art perspective, it was horrific. No, but like really, it was really bad. Like, I have an eye for the color and the shadow, and like that's just kind of how I learned art when I was younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people have that eye and I do.
Yeah.
And like it like everything I did had an oily sheen.
Mm.
And I just gave up on it. I went back to like the old fashioned, kind of manual making pictures, and not to mention like the thing kept glitching, and I given that was probably kind of early in its, being part of Canva, but like it was really just a miserable experience.
Well, I'm just thinking about that because we're, excuse me, also helping somebody out with Shopify.
Mm-hmm.
And the AI has completely changed the game.
Yeah.
However, I still have to go to you afterwards and just be like, here's the junk that AI made. Now
Right.
add your design focus to... And then I have to code it in.
It helps in a sense with coding. It makes that process a little bit easier and more efficient. But what was it? Oh, come on, brain. I'm not having a good night.
It's one of those.
No, I know. There was something I saw with AI recently that was just so... Oh, I think I talked about that last week, didn't I? About that video I saw about Toro Synagogue.
Yes, you talked
that was
about
last
that.
week.
You
Yeah,
talked
yeah.
about that last week. No, this is just a continuation.
We're
We're
always
just
talking about
we're just
AI.
well, it's what's in the news.
Yeah.
Again, or whatever. It's like I was thinking that we were going to be talking about different things this episode, but it's become Lego and AI.
Yeah.
That's telling you the direction of where technology is going to be in this next year.
I just feel like we're always talking about AI, but it's like it's kind of involved in everything right now.
Well, in this case, we're talking
But-
about lack of AI.
Yeah, I am curious if it's kind of like there's been to some degree a resurgence in minimalist phones or dumb phones or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call them at this point. I wonder if there's going to be a wave of like, hey, we have this product and it doesn't have AI as like a selling point.
That's Dell. That's good. That's going to be Dell's selling point.
Right, but I would love to see. I feel like they would never do it. But I would like, hey, I would love to see Apple doing that as like a minimalist thing.
Never.
I know never,
They're
but-
doing it. They're doing it right now,
Right.
and their stock price is going down.
Right, I'm sure.
It's gone down
But
8 days in a
feel-
row.
I feel like though, I haven't been paying attention to that. Okay, I'm so out of all this. But,
No, well, that's why we're talking about it.
I feel though like on some level that would be Steve Jobs' aesthetic.
Yeah.
To not have all these frills or like or.
Well,
or
Steve Jobs
it would-
added AI with Siri.
Yeah, he would add AI, but I'm saying like it would have a certain polished like
I agree.
class to it, and not all this extra clutter and
Yeah.
you know. It can get kind of noisy sometimes. Like I feel like it kind of takes over everything.
Makes sense. There's
What are you
our
doing,
fun noise.
Oh, are we out of time?
We're out of time, but I think we did we exhausted the whole topic, I believe.
I think so. I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about AI again next week and the week after that and the week after that.
Or we'll talk about whatever comes next. We have to log out because we're done and everybody's coming in here.
I know.
All right. See you later.
Boot it up, don't crash today. Wi-Fi's moody, that's okay. Coffee's loading, brain still lagged. Luna's laughing, Techie's tagged. We're logging in with Luna and Techie. Tech Talk's funny and slightly sketchy. Glitches, giggles, updates too. It's logging in, brought to you. System ready, slightly unstable. You're logging in. 404, boredom not found. You're logging in. Best show around. Boot it up, don't crash today. Wi-Fi's moody, that's okay. Carsey's loading, brain still lag. Luna's laughing, Techie's tagged. We're logging in with Luna and Techie. Tech Talk's funny and slightly sketchy. Glitches, giggles, updates too. It's logging in, brought to you. System ready, slightly unstable. You're logging in. 404, boredom not found. You're logging in. Best show around.